Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be playing Marvel Champions once again, and this time we've got Black Panther heading up against Klaw. Klaw is loaded up with the Masters of Evil modular in his deck, and we are all set up and ready to go, so we can go ahead and begin. So we've already done the setup here, and I've already searched the encounter deck for the Defense Network side scheme, revealed it, and shuffled. So now we're on to the main scheme, which is underground distribution. Your investigation reveals that the criminal enterprise is operated by Klaw, an old rival of the Avengers. And when revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded, and put that minion in play, engage with the player. Okay, so we got a target of 6 threat on the main scheme here. We do have the Defense Network side scheme in play. That starts with 3 threat on it. The armored guard here that we pulled has toughness, so he's going to get a tough status card put on him. And now we're good to go, so we can set up with our initial 6 card hand. So let's start. Let's get strength, tactical genius, momentum shift, get behind me, vibranium, and Wakanda Forever. Okay, cool. I like the looks of that. I'm just going to keep all of those. And for my foresight ability from T'Challa, I can search my deck for a Black Panther upgrade and add it to my hand. I am going to look for the... I'll know it when I see it. It's in here somewhere. Yes, the Black Panther claws. Okay, so now let's shuffle these guys. So yeah, initial hand of 6 plus the 1 from his ability. So we got 7 cards in hand, which will be nice. Okay, that is shuffled up, and we can add this to our hand and get going here. Okay, so I do really like... Okay, so first thing, I'm just going to switch directly over to Black Panther. I don't have any cards that specifically do things for my alter ego. I'm going to pay strength to install this tactical genius Panther upgrade, which will allow me to do some threat mitigation, which should be nice. I'm going to pay my vibranium to get my Panther claws in hand and on deck here. I can't even use a momentum shift if I wanted to, but let's use the Wakanda Forever, and we're going to pay for it with the momentum shift. And how would we like to do this? So I can remove a threat from a scheme, or 2 threat if it's the final step of the sequence. But then I can do 4 damage to an enemy. So here, how about let's just back up for 2 shakes here. Let's attack with Black Panther to remove this tough status card, so that he'll be attackable. And let's do it. Yeah, let's do it in this order. So okay, so now I'm paying the momentum shift as the resource for Wakanda Forever. I'm first going to choose to remove a threat from a side scheme. So I'll just remove a single threat from here. So that will mean 2 threat on that side scheme. And then I'm going to do special attack. I'll deal 4 damage because it's the final step of this this Wakanda Forever event. And that will take care of all 3 hit points of that armored guard. So that takes care of that. I just have the 1 card in hand, get behind me. I think I'm actually going to pitch it and deal up myself 5 cards here. Okay, so we've got the power protection, we've got energy daggers, there's Nova, another get behind me, and an armored vest. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Villain phase begins. A threat is going to come down on the main scheme. No threat there, but the crisis icon will just indicate that I can't take any threat off the main scheme until that side scheme is resolved. Okay, so Klaw is going to attack. He has a the 2 boost cards for his attack. Black Panther is going to take the attack face first. Whew. So 3 boost icons plus a... okay, so this is doing 3 damage to me, and if this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. So Black Panther is exhausted after being attacked by Klaw. He has 1, 2, and 3 hit points gone. Thanks to his retaliation, however, he does 1 point of damage to Klaw, which is okay by me. Now, an counter card is going to get dealt. When revealed, discard an upgrade or support you control. If no cards were discarded this way, this card gains Surge. Well, I must discard 1. And this is an upgrade or support. I'm going to remove the Tactical Genius and hope that I can pull it from my deck on a future turn. Because I don't even have a Wakanda Forever card in my hand currently. So, okay. And he's exhausted. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, that ends the villain phase. So now we are back into the hero phase. I've got a Power of Protection, which is good. I could maybe get Nova in play here. He has 2 attack, but only 1 thwart. Black Panther's got no... he's exhausted, so I can't do anything with him. So that is very unfortunate. I think I'm going to... Yeah. I'm going to spend this Get Behind Me to install an Armored Vest for increased defense. I'm going to spend these 2 cards as resources to put the Energy Daggers in play as an upgrade there. Now, again, I'm exhausted, but there's only 1 threat in the main scheme. I'm going to switch over to T'Challa and end my turn there so I can get the increased card draw. Hopefully I can get a decent upgrade in hand. So yeah, this is how we're gonna play it. So let's draw up to 6. So here's an Ancestral Knowledge, Power Protection, Wakanda Forever, Momentum Shift, Endurance, and Shuri. Okay, so we got a hand of 6 here. Now we can ready up T'Challa because we're starting up the villain phase. So first thing is a threat comes down to the main scheme. Next thing, Klaw is going to scheme for a base of 2 plus 2. Oh, wow. So that's going to add 4 onto the main scheme, and that actually is going to progress the battle into the next stage of this main scheme. So the underground distribution has reached 6, so that goes bye-bye. Now we're on to Secret Rendezvous. Klaw has found a buyer for his illegal weapons. It's up to you to stop the sale, but the meeting is surrounded by Klaw's cronies. So this means we have to discard until a minion is discarded and put him into play, engage with us. Which is unfortunate because that means... Oh no, he's going to scheme right away. So okay, so discarding until we see a minion. Minion. Where are you? There's another armored guard. He starts with toughness. So, okay. So now, that was the villain's scheming. Now it's the minion's scheming, but he's got 0 worth for his scheming attribute. So now we do the encounter card. So we deal sound manipulation. When revealed, Klaw heals 4 damage. He only can gain 1, but that's better than 0, because otherwise that card would have gained Surge and we would have had to draw another one. Okay, so that completes the villain phase. Now we are into the hero phase. And what should we do here? I want to get rid of that defense network side scheme. I mean, got no threat on the main scheme now, but time is ticking. We can only do 8, and then it's game over for scheme on the main threat on the main scheme. Endurance is nice, but I feel like at this point I need to probably get an ally on the board. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pay for that with endurance and... yeah, and this momentum shift. Okay, yeah. So that's the two resources that I need to put Shuri into play. After she enters play, search the deck for an upgrade card and add it to your hand, and then shuffle the deck. So I'm going to, I think my other, well, I mean, I guess I could go for a protection upgrade, but I'm actually I'll go for the vibranium suit and add it to my hand. Oh, actually, you know what? No. Because, you know what? I'm just going to use this as a resource. So I'm going to take Indomitable instead. So that this way I can actually get two more things to do here on my turn. So hopefully, as long as I'm thinking about this right, that will make sense in a second. Okay, so that's shuffled up. So now Shuri's in play. I would like to spend a resource to use Ancestral Knowledge for my alter ego action. And that allows me to choose up to 3 different cards in my discard pile and shuffle them into my deck. And I'm going to choose Tactical Genius, Wakanda Forever, and a Vibranium. Why not? So we're going to shuffle these into our deck. So let's go like this. 1, 2, 3. And shuffle once more. Okay, so a few more options as we get through our deck there. Now, oh yeah, this takes care of those. Now I'm going to switch to T'Challa. And I'm going to hold off on the Wakanda Forever for just this moment. So I can deal 1 damage to the villain and to each enemy engaged with the player. 2 if it's the final step of the sequence. So I need to think smart about this. I can remove the tough by having Shuri attack. So she'll take a damage and do a singular attack, but that's fine by me. That gets rid of the tough. Now I can, which I just need to figure out what's the best order to go in on this. I want to take out the armored guard, obviously. So if I do 2 damage instead, if this is the final step of the sequence, he's got guard, so I can't technically attack Klaw without taking care of him first. Okay, so I got to use it in this order. So deal 2 damage to an enemy. So I deal 2 damage, 1 and 2. And then I use this ability, which is deal 1 damage to the villain to each enemy, or 2 damage if that's the final step of the sequence. So then I'm doing 2 more damage, overpay by 1, but at least that gets rid of the armored guard. And then 2 damage to Klaw as the final step of that sequence. And now I still have Black Panther, who is ready. Oh, what am I doing? I should have actually done that. So yeah, I'm obviously I just used the resource to pay for Wakanda Forever to do that attack there. Now Black Panther is still ready, so I'm going to exhaust him to thwart for 2. So I'm going to take care of the Defense Network side scheme. So now I am able to remove threat from the main scheme if I have to. Okay, so now we're going to ready up and draw 5 cards. So we got Preservation, Electrostatic Armor, Wakanda Forever, Vibranium, Tactical Genius, and... oh, shoot. I only need 5 cards. I did see what that card was, so I'm going to bury it and shuffle. That was foolish. Here I'm thinking I'm in alter ego mode, but nope, only 5 cards. Okay, so that is shuffled up. Again, sorry about that. Okay, so we've got these cards in hand, and it's good for me. Yeah, I don't see anything that's actually going to potentially come in play here in the villain phase. So now the villain phase starts. 1 threat comes on the main scheme. He is going to attack. I'm going to take the damage as Black Panther. So he does a base of 0 plus 2. So he's going to do 2 damage to Black Panther, and this Weapon Runner's boost ability means he gets put into play. So I take 2 damage, 1 and 2, down to 6. He takes 1 point of damage due to retaliate. And now that was the villain's attack. Now, because the minion entered during that attack, the weapons runner is now going to attack me for 1. I'm going to take it as a damage, and as a retaliate, Black Panther immediately hits him back for 1. Okay, now an encounter card comes down. It's advanced the villain's schemes. So, Klaw schemes for base of 2 plus 3. Ugh. 5. Really? 5? Okay, so we're at 6 out of 8 for the main scheme, and once that's done, we are done bar. So that's not cool. So that does complete the villain phase. Now we are on to the the player phase. We gotta do something about that threat. So we can do a bit about that. So let's pay this Vibranium to install a Tactical Genius card, which is the Black Panther upgrade that allows us to remove some threat. And I'm going to pay this Preservation resource to play a Wakanda Forever event. And this is an interesting one because after you spend this card, heal 1 damage from your hero. So I'm going to heal a damage just for having used that as a resource. And now we can do the Wakanda Forever. So we're going to start with... I think we're going to do it... Well, I guess it doesn't really matter here which order these 2 go in. We're doing this one last so we can remove 2 threat. But choose a player, deal 1 damage to the villain and to each enemy. So 1 damage gets dealt to this weapons runner. So that takes care of him, and 1 gets dealt to Klaw, so he's down to 8. Then deal 2 damage to an enemy, that goes to Klaw for down another 2 to 6. And now remove 2 threat from a scheme, if this is the final step, which it is. So that goes down to remove the 5 token, take the 2 off, so now there's 4 threat left on that side scheme. Or, sorry, the main scheme. And I think I just want to not get in a really bad spot here. I'm just gonna thwart with both of these guys. So sure, he does take an additional point of damage, and Black Panther doesn't, but that removes 3 threat for the main scheme. So now at least we're in a much better spot now, I believe. So with all of that said, electrostatic armor in hand. This is an upgrade that I can do damage back to the enemy if he attacks me. I think I'm gonna flip. I think, do I want to though? I got 6 health. You know what? No, let's stay in Black Panther for 1 more go. Shuri's only got 1 health. Let's stay. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this in hand and deal myself 4 additional cards. There is a Vibranium, Starhawk, Energy Barrier, and a Wakanda Forever. Okay, so we got 5 cards in hand for next turn. Villain phase starts. He's going to start by a threat coming down to the main scheme. He's going to attack. Sure, he's going to jump in the way to defend that. So he does a base of 0 plus... How many boost icons we're going to get? 1, 2, 1, 2. If this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. Well, I think I already looked that up once, and it's not doing damage to you because that would be my hero. So it did 2 damage to Shuri, which knocks her out, and I can live to see another day. Now an encounter card is going to come down, and it is a minion, Melter. Melter is one of the Masters of Evil minions. There's no ability that he's going to do as soon as he comes into play, so at least I have that going for me. And now I'm going straight into the player phase. Okay, so Starhawk, when Starhawk takes damage exactly equal to his remaining hit points, return him to your hand. So that's kind of handy. Energy Barrier, when you would take any amount of damage, remove one reflection counter and deal prevent 1 of that damage and deal 1 damage to the enemy. So I can really set myself up here as a bit of a yeah, just a lot of kind of, I guess, a bleed damage kind of thing. This also with the electrostatic armor. I think I'm going to try to go for that route here. So I'm going to spend Vibranium to put in an energy barrier. So this means I put 3 reflection counters on it. So 1, 2, and 3. When you would take any amount of damage, remove 1 reflection counter from here to prevent 1 of that damage and deal 1 damage. So I don't actually have to even tap the card when that happens. So that's interesting. Now, here's the thing. I think it would be good of me to be able to do a Wakanda Forever event. I want to put this electrostatic armor in play, but I think I'm going to have to save it for next turn. I'm going to use Starhawk as the resource to play the Wakanda Forever event, and what I'm going to do is do it in this order. So first, I'm going to choose a player, deal 1 damage to each enemy. So the enemy being the minion and Klaw, so 1 and 1. Remove 1 threat from a scheme, so I can do that to the main scheme, and then deal 4 damage to an enemy, which I'm going to choose Melter, so that's going to take care of him right away. So that gets him off the board before he can do a bunch of damage. He has an attack of 3, base of 3, that is. Okay, so I still have this 1 card in hand. Obviously, I can't do anything with it, but I am going to attack Klaw for 2. So 1 and 2. And that takes him down to 3 health. And now I'm going to ready up and draw up to my limit of 5 cards in total. So we've got an Indomitable, we've got Momentum Shift, Vibranium Suit, and Wakanda Forever. Okay, another Wakanda Forever. So hopefully that gives us the opportunity to pull off another one of those events next time. Okay, villain phase is beginning. So we're going to start by putting a threat on the main scheme. Villain's going to attack. Now, I get +1 defense, and when I would take any amount of damage, I can remove a reflection counter. So I'm actually going to defend with Black Panther here. So he does a base of 0 plus 0 and 0. Wow. Okay. Now, after this character is attacked, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. I don't have to take damage in order for Retaliate to kick off there, so at least do that. Hey, luck of the draw. I mean, I defended. It kind of feels like a wasted defend action when the villain otherwise wouldn't have done any damage to me. But that's how it goes sometimes, because it could have gone very differently. And yeah, so, okay. All right, let's start. Oh, wait. No. That was the villain's attack. Now we need an encounter card still. So the encounter card is a weapons runner. After this card is revealed, deal an additional encounter card. That's Claw's Vengeance. Hero. Klaw attacks you. If the attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. I can't defend this time around because I've already defended. So he's going to do... He's going to do 1 damage. Oh, good. So, okay. All right. Let's take this one step at a time here. Okay, so these are the 2 boost cards, and the boost ability of Radioactive Man is for me to discard a card at random from my hand. So let's do that first before we complicate this anymore. Okay, so card Indomitable. Okay, so Indomitable is going away. I should have used that when I defended last, but oh well. Okay, so Radioactive Man goes away. Now, this is the 1 damage that's coming through from this attack, and from this Klaw's Vengeance, that if this attack deals damage, place a threat on the main scheme. So a threat is going to come down to the main scheme because it does a damage. And this is an attack from Klaw. Klaw attacks you, so I'm doing a retaliation damage of 1. My health goes down by 1, or it should have gone the other way there. When you would take any amount of damage, remove 1 reflection counter from here, prevent 1 of that damage. Okay, sorry, so I actually don't take a damage, and deal 1 damage to an enemy. Enemy. So if I do a damage to Klaw, he's going to go on to his next phase. But if I just do a singular point... You know what? No, I'm going to do a singular point of damage to this weapons runner, because I know that I have a Wakanda Forever card in hand, and I can choose to do the option where I just do the 1 damage. So that would be enough to take out the weapons runner. So that's kind of what I'm going to work towards here. So happy that I had the energy barrier there, so I can at least do a little bit of retaliation, but with not retaliation damage. Now I just have the 4 cards in hand, which is limiting, because I really want to play a Wakanda Forever event, which I guess that just makes it very clear what I have to do here. So, oh, there's a token here. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to pay this Momentum Shift card to install this Electrostatic Armor. It says after I defend against the attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Now I'm going to spend this Vibranium Suit to do a Wakanda Forever event. So, we're going to do it. I think we're just going to do it in this order, so I can do a bunch of damage to Klaw. Okay, deal 1 damage to the villain and to each enemy engaged with you. So that does 1 to the weapons runner and 1 to Klaw. Takes him down to 0. Now, I did look this up, and I think one of the viewers even, thank you for that, you pointed out that I can just continue on the attack through to the next villain phase. So that is what we're going to do. So Klaw phase 1 is gone. Klaw phase 2 is in play. Search the encounter card and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw. Whatchamacallit? The side scheme. Immortal Klaw, there it is. So Immortal Klaw side scheme comes into play. So Immortal Klaw, or Klaw rather, starts with 18 hit points on stage 2, but the Immortal Klaw side scheme lifts it up to 28. This side scheme starts with 3 threat on it, and it's going to mean an additional encounter card. Okay, so that is good. Now, that was only the first step of the Wakanda Forever event. Now, actually, I have this leeway. I'm going to... I think this makes sense. I can do it... Wow, you know what? No, I don't think it does. I can remove a single threat from a scheme. I could do 2 threat, but it's only to a single scheme. So I'm going to take a single threat off the Immortal Klaw side scheme and take it down to 2. And because I'm already exhausted. If I wasn't exhausted, then I would be able to get rid of it right away. But then now for the final step, I'm going to do 4 damage. So I'm going to do 4 damage to Klaw. 1, 2, 3, and 4. down to 24 hit points. I don't have any cards left in hand, so now I'm going to ready up and yeah, I'm gonna stay in Black Panther mode. So now let's draw up to 5 cards. So we got a Golden City, Genius, Quinn Carrier, another Energy Barrier, and Klaw. Okay, so that'll be your hand for next turn. First thing that occurs is a threat comes down the main scheme. So now we're up to 4. So we're halfway through the most amount of threat that we can, or before game over. Now Klaw is going to attack. Black Panther is going to defend. He does a base of 1 attack plus 2, 3. Yeah. 2, 3 plus a boost of deal 1 damage to each hero. So 3 attack. I'm defending 2, 3. So I defend all the actual attack from the from the attack. Now the boost is to deal 1 damage to each hero. When you would take any amount of damage, remove 1 reflection counter to prevent 1 damage and deal a damage to an enemy. I also, after I defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. After you defend against an attack, okay. So I can choose to do a damage from my reflection counter that I just used up, and that also caused me not to take damage from the boost card, which is nice. I do a retaliate damage for the actual original attack, plus I do an additional damage back to the attacking character thanks to my electrostatic armor. So that's pretty handy. Yeah, and that was the whole attack. So I didn't take any damage from that attack, but thanks to some of these really handy protection cards, ended up taking off 3. Well, 2 plus the 1 retaliate. Okay, now it's encounter card time. Now, oh, sorry, this is not an additional encounter card. This is an additional threat on the main scheme. So that means that I'm actually working with 5 threat. So kind of good and bad, because that means I don't have to draw an additional encounter card right now. So I just deal the 1 encounter card, which is an illegal arms factory side scheme. When revealed, place an additional threat here. So this is going to start with 3 plus 1 threat. So that's not great. This is the icon for the additional, I think that's the hazard icon. Means that I'll get an additional threat, or additional encounter card rather. Okay, so now that's the villain phase done, and we're going to start into the hero phase. Klea's only got 1 thwart, and I'm exhausted, which, man, I would have really liked to have been able to gotten rid of the Immortal Klaw side scheme. Now we've got this other side scheme now, and I've got hardly any threat mitigation. I could put a Quinn Carrier in play to get that extra resource. The Golden City is sure handy for when I'm in my alter ego. Okay, so let's move some things around here just to make it easier to manage. I'm going to... There's 5 threat on the main scheme. He schemes for 2. I need to take some threat off. I could switch to alter ego mode, but that means that it's almost for sure game over as soon as the scheme starts, the scheming starts at the beginning, because an additional threat gets placed at the beginning of the villain phase. Ooh, we're in a bad spot here. Oh, I don't like this. I could put Klaw into play. She has 1 thwart. I was thinking I could do Golden City, but then I'd have to flip. Then I could exhaust it to draw 2 cards, but darn, I think we're gonna have to we're going to have to take a risk here. And it remains to be seen how that might work out for us. Okay, so I have exactly enough resources to, here in my hero phase, spend my genius card to install Klaw. She has 1 and 1. I'm going to exhaust her to thwart for 1. So she takes a damage for thwarting, and I can remove threat from the main scheme, so I'm going to do that. So this is going to go down to 3 and 1. Because I don't have enough that I could actually get rid of this to mitigate getting the additional threat on the main scheme at the beginning of my turn. I mean, alternately, I could just stay in hero mode. You know what? That's probably the safer bet. Stay in hero mode and make it through another round and then see what happens. And maybe I can get another ally and hopefully a Wakanda forever. Okay. Yeah. You know what? That is too risky. I mean, 2 threat comes down at the beginning. Then he schemes for a base of 2. That's game over right there. So I've got to tough it out as in hero mode. So I'm going to pay these 2 resources to install another energy barrier. So again, I can put 3 reflection counters on it, which means I'm going to be becoming a bit of a pincushion here for the enemy, which is nice. And that's all I can do. So I've got to ready up and draw up to 5 cards. So here's a Wakanda Forever, Brother Voodoo, Ironheart, Vibranium, and another energy barrier. So I got exactly 5 cards in hand. There's exactly 1 card here, which had I had to have drawn that, would have meant an additional encounter card for this next villain phase, which I would not have liked nor probably have survived. So, okay, here we go. All right, so villain phase starts. 2 threat come on the main scheme. So let's just swap out this 3 for a 5. So now there's 6 threat on the main scheme. The villain is going to attack. Now, I have a couple allies in hand that maybe if I can get them in play, certainly Brother Voodoo because he does 2 thwart. That's going to be able to do some mitigation of some stuff here. I'm just trying to decide if I should defend, because if I defend, that means Black Panther is exhausted for the next hero phase, but it means I'm going to be doing probably an additional 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 damage to Klaw as a result. If I defend with Klaw, she's just gone. I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna go all out here and try to get the win on the next turn. I think that's doable as long as the cards come out not the worst that they could come out. Okay, so Klaw's going to attack for a base of 1 plus. He's going to attack for 3, and this boost card says give the villain a tough status card. So I'm going to give the villain a tough status card, and 3 damage will have come out, but I defend for 2 plus the 1 from my armored vest, so I take no damage. Now, I wouldn't take any amount of damage, so I don't even use these energy barriers. After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Now, here's another interesting question. After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. I have Retaliate 1, which reads, after this character is attacked, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Does that mean I'm dealing 2 damage to the attacking character? Or am I dealing 1 and then 1? I'm going to go with the Grim Rule on this one and say I'm just dealing 2 in one fell swoop, which means that I at least remove the tough status card from him. I took no damage, so I'm still in it. But yeah, here we are. 6th threat. Okay. Anyways, let's not get ahead of ourselves. That was the villain's attack phase. Now the encounter cards are going to come down. 1. That's not good. Oh. And I need 1 more, but I got to shuffle this up first. So after the encounter deck is exhausted, means I've got to put one of those fun tokens that mean I get another threat on the main scheme at the beginning. So I've got at the beginning of the next villain phase, there's going to be 1, 2, 3 threat coming down. Ooh. Not quite sure how this is going to work. If this is going to work. I at least don't have any crisis icons, which means I can still at least remove threat off the main scheme. I've got 6 health, and it seems to be working for me to simply stay in hero mode and... okay, so another encounter card is going to come down. Okay, so let's see what this one is first. And this is, when revealed, each Masters of Evil minion attacks the hero. If no attack was made, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Masters of Evil minion. Put them into play with your hero. We already saw Melter. There's Whirlwind. He does 2 damage. Let's put Whirlwind in play. Okay, so that is the result of that Masters of Mayhem treachery card. And just watch. This next encounter card, I would laugh if it's going to be another Masters of Mayhem treachery card or another Masters of Evil minion. So let's see, what have we got in store here? This is solid sound body attachment for Klaw. Klaw gains Retaliate 1. After this character is attacked, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Okay, so he just gets attack or retaliate for 1. That's not too crazy. So we'll just kind of put that in front of there. Okay. So that was the end of the villain phase. Let's see what we can do here. Got a Vibranium, which is good for resources. Here's Brother Voodoo. After he enters play, I can add an event card from the top 5 cards in my deck, which there's only 1 card. So if that's an event, I could draw it, I suppose. Ironheart, I put her in play and I get to draw a card. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the Vibranium and Ironheart to put Brother Voodoo into play. So let's move these guys over. Black Panther is exhausted. So okay, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event card. It's not an event card. But I can't continue looking. So I will shuffle this 1 card. Oh, there I go. And let's see what happens when I have to draw cards next. Okay. But the more important part of that exercise was to get Brother Voodoo into play, who has 2 thwart. So what I can do, and I think what I ought to do, is thwart with him for 2. He takes 2 damage. He's got 2 of those markers there on his thwart action. So he takes 2 damage for thwarting, and I'm going to get rid of the Immortal Claw side scheme. So this means one less threat on the main scheme at the beginning of the villain phase. This means Klaw's health goes down by 10. So he's got 11 health left. And then we still have 6 on the main scheme. 2 is going to come down thanks to that boost icon there. Or the token, rather. So I think the other thing I should do is I should thwart with Klaw to remove 1 threat here. So that means it won't be game over as soon as the villain phase starts next, which means she's knocked out. When she's defeated, shuffle her into her owner's deck. All right. Shuffle that up good there. All right. Okay. So now we still have 2 cards in hand. A Wakanda Forever and an Energy Barrier. Well, there's a no-brainer. So we're going to use the Energy Barrier to play Wakanda Forever. Can we do 11 damage? I don't think so. I could remove 2 threat, or I could just do 4 damage. I think this is probably the safer bet. I mean, I could do 2 damage to the villain and to Whirlwind. He's just a buck short of getting knocked out too. Because if I did this 4 damage to Whirlwind, then he would get knocked out. But I feel like I kind of have to really just go all out here against Klaw. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. This might be silly, but first thing is I'm gonna do 1 damage to the villain and to each whatchamacallit, enemy engaged with me. So that does 1 damage there. I'm going to remove a single threat from a scheme. I'm going to remove it from the main scheme. So this is going to go down to 4. 3 and 4, or 3 and 1, which is 4. And now I'm going to do 4 damage to an enemy. And I hope I don't live to... I hope I live... I just hope I don't regret this. I'm going to do it to Klaw. He's going to go down to 6 health. Whirlwind is still very much in play. But I do have these cards here offering me better defense and better retaliation. So we'll see. Let's just wait and see what happens here. Okay, so let's ready up everything, and we're gonna ride this one out. Another encounter card is gonna come down. So I'm gonna draw. Well, I'm gonna try to draw 5 cards, which are the 2 I already know about, plus 3 more. And a counter card gets dealt because I'm through my player deck. So let's shuffle these and then get those 3 more cards. I'm in hero mode a lot more than I would have expected to be, but having those protection upgrades are really kind of making it worthwhile. Like I've been at 6 health for a while now, thanks to those cards. Even though I have had to defend each turn, which means, I don't get my attack of 2 or thwart of 2, which is maybe the more important of those 2 actions. But we've made it this far, so let's just see what happens. Okay, so we got these 2 cards, Klaw and Energy, and now we've got the Power of Protection, Nova, and Ironheart. Okay, so wow, 3 allies and 2 resource cards. Okay, so let's just put that there for now. The villain phase begins. Now 2 threat are going to come down on the main scheme because we got rid of the Immortal Klaw side scheme. So I'll trade this one out for a 5. So we got 6 threat on the main scheme. Klaw is going to attack. He's got Retaliate now. I should have taken a damage from attacking. hang on. Does deal a damage, deal 2 damage. Sorry, I have to go digging for it just to be sure. Does a Wakanda Forever count as an attack? I don't think it does. Not technically. It's a tactic. Special attack? Okay. Well, it does say attack on the Panther claws. And I did definitely attack. I used the Panther claws against Klaw last time. So, based on that wording, I think I should have taken a damage from Klaw for having attacked him last time as a retaliate. And I can't retaliate against retaliate, so I just take the 1 damage. Okay. So now, Klaw's going to attack for a base of 1. Black Panther is going to defend. So he's going to defend here. And so Black Panther does 1 plus 2, 3. He does 3. The solid sound body doesn't actually increase his attack. So I'm actually blocking all of the damage that's incoming. The boost ability here on Radioactive Man is discard 1 card at random from your hand. So that's not my favorite thing. But okay. Ironheart. Okay, so Ironheart goes away. I just have the 4 cards in hand now. So that was the villain's attack. I defended against it all. I still do a damage back as retaliate against Klaw. And after I defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. So I take him down to 4. And again, that should be a retaliate. After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Or should he technically retaliate from my electrostatic arm? This really does seem like a retaliate action. I think that would be very, 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 I don't know, overhanded for the rules to say, no, that counts as an attack. No. I'm not going to go down that road. Not here, not now. Okay. That was the villain's attack. Now Whirlwind is going to attack for 2. When Whirlwind attacks you, resolve attack against other heroes. Well, there's a true solo game. So he's going to attack for 2. I could defend with Brother Voodoo. I'm going to instead choose to take the attack head on. So he does 2 damage to me. But when you would take any amount of damage, remove 1 reflection and prevent 1 of that damage and deal damage to an enemy. That's weird. But it reads exactly the way that... Well, it reads exactly the way it reads. When you would take any amount of damage, remove 1 reflection counter, prevent 1 of that damage, and deal a damage to an enemy. So I prevent 1 of the 2 damages, and I put it back against the villain. And I also do that with my other energy barrier to prevent the other damage, and I push that back against the villain. Just seems weird, but hey, it should work. Now, okay, we're not out of the woods yet. The encounter cards. I've already got an encounter card for going through my player deck. This means I get an additional encounter card, and then there's the regular encounter card. So we got to get through all 3 of these encounter cards. Weapons Runner, Minion, Surge. After this card is revealed, reveal another encounter card. Klaw's Vengeance, 1 revealed hero. Klaw attacks you. If this attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. Ooh, interesting. Klaw attacks you. Okay, so he does 1, 2, 3. He's going to do 3 damage against me. 3 damage against me. I can negate 1 of those damages with this and put it back. So now 2 damage is still coming through against me. After I defend against an attack. I'm not defending. I'm defenseless. Okay. So now two of the attack is still coming through from his attack, which I am taking, which means that Klaw attacks you. If this attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. So I'm going to go down to 3, and a threat is going to come down to the main scheme. 7. If one of these is the villain schemes, it's game over. Sonic Boom. When revealed, either spend those resources or exhaust each character you control. I don't want to spend those resources. Can I spend those resources? I guess technically I could. I would only end up with an energy card in my hand. But it means, otherwise it just means exhausting Brother Voodoo. Which might be, I might be willing to risk that. I mean, he thwarts for 2, which is handy. I could get 2 thwart off the main scheme. He's only got 1 hit point left. I'm going to exhaust and hope this is not a scheme. Treachery. 1 revealed hero. Take 2 damage. Klaw heals 2 damage. Take 2 damage. Oh, he heals 2 damage. Oh, in what order does he do it? Take 2 damage. So first, because it says take 2 damage, Klaw heals 2 damage. I have to assume that that's at the same time. Because technically, I would block one of those damages with my energy barrier, which I will do. So only 1 damage is going to come through. 1. And I get to use this energy barrier to deflect the damage back at an enemy, which would technically take him down to 0. But this says he heals 2 damage. Do I do the damage and then he heals? I'm going to say they happen concurrently. So he actually goes up to 2 health, or he went up to 3 health and then dropped down 1. Weird. What a weird kind of situation and turn of events, but yeah, that's just weird. Okay. We made it through that enemy phase, which is kind of surprising. 7 threat is on the main scheme. He's got 2 health left. So let's just not mess around here. So we're going to use the power of protection and an energy card to put Nova into play. He becomes the only person here that can actually do something. And he's going to attack for 2. And none of these guys have block, have the guard ability. So he does 2 damage to Klaw. And he is dead. Oh, I guess Klaw retaliates for 1 against Nova. Oh, no, he dies. So, or gets knocked out or whatever, right? Okay, so there you have it. Wow. That was a battle. I did not know how that was going to go. But Black Panther, well, obviously with the Wakanda Forever events, those are hugely beneficial and do a lot throughout the game. But it feels like by blocking, by using these protection cards to push that damage back against the enemy, both the villain and the minions, that was very interesting. But we did pull it out. Please, please, please post in the comments below if there is any rules goofs that I did that you think probably would have made it so that I for sure would not have won. I feel like it was a clean game. I feel like it, but please, point that out. Hopefully not. Hopefully I can claim this as a solid W in the win column there. But please let me know. Boy, oh boy, that was a battle. But we won in the end. So Black Panther will live to fight another day. We'll take on Ultron next. Same deck setup. And hopefully I'll catch you in that video. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.